Hello and welcome to another video from healthhireuk.com. Today we're going to talk about how care workers can successfully apply to the NHS. With the number of vacancies rising in the NHS, hundreds of thousands of vacancies that are going unfilled in the NHS, care workers are in an ideal position to capitalise and move from care to the NHS. However, with the number of vacancies rising, the number of applicants is also rising. And what this means is you must have an excellent application to ensure your application is going to be considered, that you are going to be invited for interview, and that you are going to be successful with your job search. For care workers, the best position to apply for in the NHS is that of the healthcare assistant. You already have experience working alongside nurses and working alongside family members to ensure that your residents receive the best possible care, that care plans are followed, and that residents really have the best quality of life. What that means is that you have a lot of transferable skills for the role of healthcare assistant in the NHS, particularly for the role of healthcare assistant working with elderly patients, for an ambulance care assistant, or for working as a healthcare assistant in the emergency department. These are areas in which you can show that your skills really transfer and make you the best candidate for the role. So, for care workers who are wanting to go into the NHS, what's our pathway? What are our key points to make sure you are successful? Number one, applying for the jobs, finding the jobs and checking the criteria. So before applying for the jobs, you need to find jobs that are a good match. And like we've mentioned in our introduction, these are normally healthcare assistant jobs in wards that are offering elderly care, or even ambulance care assistant roles, or even working in an emergency department. Once you've found the job, you now need to make sure you meet the essential criteria. Look at the essential and desirable criteria on the person specification. Make sure that you meet all of these criteria. Make sure you meet the essential and the desirable criteria. If you don't meet all of the desirable criteria, it's not that big of a deal. But you must make sure you meet all the essential criteria to have a chance of being invited for interview. Number two, you need a good supporting information. You need to talk about why you are the best person for the job, how your skills working in care mean that you have a lot of skills that you can transfer over to the NHS. You can talk about how you meet the NHS values, how you meet the trust values, and why you want to work for that particular trust. At healthhireuk.com, we can help you write your supporting information. Our NHS experts have over 10 years of experience in the NHS. We can write your CV, we can write your supporting information, we will write your cover letter. We also guide you step by step to finding and applying for jobs in the NHS and give you a list of NHS interview questions and answers. If you are interested in our service, visit our website healthhireuk.com or email us info@healthhireuk.com. Once you've written a good supporting information, the next step is to follow up with an informal visit. On the job advert, there should be a phone number or an email address of the hiring manager. Now contact the hiring manager and tell them you are interested in applying for the job. You've submitted an application and now you want to visit the department to understand the challenges that they are facing and to understand how they can improve with new members of staff and what you can bring to the department as a new member of staff. So really, this is an informal visit, a chance to get to know the department better, for them to know you and for you to know them, to assess the working conditions and for them to assess whether you're going to be a good match. Now, once you've done this, what this means is that you've also submitted an application. There's now a phase to your application and your chances of success just went up. Now, the final step is to prepare for interview. Before going for interview, make sure you prepared examples of how you are the best person for the job. You've worked in care, so you've got examples of working with elderly patients. You've worked in stressful situations. You've had to communicate with family members. You've had to communicate with nurses. You've had to communicate with hospital doctors. You've had to communicate with other healthcare professionals. You've had to communicate with residents themselves. And often they have difficult communication conditions such as dementia, or they might have other disabilities and conditions which makes it difficult to communicate with them. But despite all of that, you're communicating with them. You're working in a team. You're working under stressful situations. You're showing initiative. So prepare examples of how all your experiences in care mean that you're really prepared to work in the NHS. Thank you for watching another video with healthhireuk.com.